So in today's episode, we have Tommy and Amber. This is a couple who came to us around 9 months ago in terms of scaling their business. Amber was still in the police. Tommy had just left his job, which was in terms of car sales. They have now scaled their business to over 28K a month, moved to Dubai 6 weeks ago, and we're going to delve into their story. Now, only 8% of people will actually watch and listen to the podcast are subscribed. So if I could have one big ask for you is please hit the subscribe button. Now let's get into the episode. Tommy and Amber, you're online coaches, you just moved to Dubai. For context, what were you both individually doing prior to what you do right now?
So I was doing car sales for about 5 to 7 years before I transitioned into one-to-one PT and I'm working in a gym. So that was about 6-7 years ago now, and started doing the online coaching alongside it. That kind of happened before that point. So people were coming up to me in the gym asking for help. I started getting in better shape, so I started coaching a few friends. That kind of transitioned into coaching people for like £40 a month. And then I was like, right, I need to actually do this as a job. I'm enjoying this. You can make money out of it. If it's your passion, you're going to drive yourself further forward. So I was like, right, I need to do a PT course. So I'd done that alongside the motor trade. And then at that point, it was just crazy. Like I was getting up at 5, going to do a PT at 6 till 7, quickly come home, change, eat, straight to Ford, working from 8 till 5:30, rush to the gym for 6:30, do 2 PTs till 8:30, and then train myself, get home at like 10, hopefully in bed by 11. It was like that for about 6 months. And I couldn't actually leave the job either, even though I was in a position so quick to do so, because I had a mortgage going through. So it taught me how to work hard and just go after what you want. But it was annoying that I couldn't pull away from that sooner. However, the job at Ford just taught me a lot about customer service, sales, just being personable. And I'm pretty sure I get on with like most people I speak to now. So that really helps.
Okay, yourself, Amber?
So before personal training and online coaching, I was a police officer. But I've kind of gone like full circle because straight after school, I actually did go into the gym floor and start doing a PT course. And I was in the sort of leisure centre gyms. And I had an interest. I was like determined I was going to go to uni. And I was like, what do I do? And I was doing it because I enjoyed the fitness side of stuff. But I just didn't find it challenging enough being on the leisure centre gym floor. I liked it, but I just thought, there's got to be more to this because it was a really quiet leisure centre. It was a lovely place to work, but it sort of had the older clientele coming in and wasn't quite stimulating enough for what I needed at the time. I was only 18. So I applied to get into the police. I got in first time and they did an apprenticeship degree. So I did a degree whilst working in the police. So I was a police officer in response, which is the front line, going to 999 calls at the age of 18 for 5 years. But I still had a massive passion for health and fitness. So alongside working in the police, I did still top up with sort of PT and friends on my days off and stuff like that. My shift pattern was 6 days on, 4 days off. So it was long for the 6 days, but on the 4 days off, it did mean I had quite a lot of time. So I was competing in bodybuilding in bikini alongside that. And I started a bit similar to Tom. I started getting a lot of other people in the gym asking like, can I have some help? Like, you're doing really well. And Tommy sort of said, well, why don't you just try online coaching and go into it properly again? And I hit a bit of a slump in my policing degree. I'd started going through quite some hard times with sort of the things you have to go do, the stress levels, the things you see. And even I was actually undergoing PTSD at the time as well, and I had to take some time off away from policing for a little bit. And Tommy said, why don't you go back to doing what actually makes you happy and what makes you like love life again? I was like, okay, yeah. So Tom encouraged me to go into online coaching because that meant I could actually do that while still doing my shifts in the police. It wasn't, the one-to-ones are great, but you can only have so much time to be present with someone one-to-one. So we went, you sort of encouraged me to start online coaching. So I've been doing that probably for about 3 years, the last 2 years of my policing. And then it was getting to a point so I left the police last June actually, after being with Seven Figure Sailing Systems for, was it 3-4 months?
Yeah, we started End of March.
And this is what I wanted to ask you: is where were you 12 months ago in January 2025?
So, as in, what were we doing? Or
what did your life look like then? Like, what did your business look like then? What were you doing work-wise?
So, business did kind of stall. I mean, like leaving sort of Ford and going into PT and coaching. My dream was like, if I could make nearly as much money as what I was doing in sales, doing what I love, then I'll be happy. Kind of got there quite quick, and then you're like, right, what's next? But it wasn't really evolving as such. It was kind of like, and I felt like I was busy. So it's kind of like, what's the next step? And I feel like I'd seen you on Instagram probably for 6 months before that. And every time I seen you, I was like, oh, I need to do that. And it was like, I kind of was a saving. I spoke to a couple of clients that you had, and they just said how good it was. And I was like, right.
Who was that out of interest?
Josh Bridgman.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember. There was a few that I just messaged off of your page sort of thing, and they all just said like the same thing, like just do it. We were here in January, so just over a year ago, come on holiday. We decided we were going to come and work for a week and then holiday for a week and just see what we thought of the place. And we fell in love with it straight away, didn't we? Yeah. And that kind of was like, right, how do we get here as quick as possible whilst sort of growing the business? So we started a bodybuilding prep in January as well. We had a few holidays planned for the summer. So we were kind of like, oh, is it a good time to kind of do it? Which it kind of was and it kind of wasn't, but life's too short, just get on and do the thing. So we signed up in March and it just went crazy from there. By May, I've 5x'd my business. So in 2 months. And to be honest, at that point, I should have really sort of invested more back in and I could have kept growing, which is a bit of a regret now, but you learn. We kind of just went on a lot of holidays. We're still working whilst away, but we weren't giving it full throttle that we could have, which is one of the reasons why we're here now to kind of do that this year. So yeah, the year was just crazy. We've done all our bodybuilding competitions. Obviously that takes its toll as well at that point. So that was the focus. We went on a lot of holidays through the summer, which was really, really good. And then our full focus then was just right, like we need to get here now. Yeah. So we kind of, when we signed up with you, we had that goal to move here, hit 10K a month each, sort of 20K between us. And that would mean that we can sort of comfortably move here.
I think in January, I remember like it was the goal to grow our business and to really focus on it. Because I think we had the businesses and things were sort of picking up and doing well. And we knew that we wanted to transition into doing it full time, but at that point we were like, well, how can we do it? Like, is it possible? How long is it going to be before we can be actually like fully self-employed, fully online? And I do remember one night Tommy just came home and he was like, I've got a call with Charlie tomorrow, or with like Charlie's team. And I was like, who? I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, you know, the guy we watch on YouTube all the time. Because Tommy's got to watch something every single time he eats food. And he eats
exactly
food
the same.
like 6, 7, 8 times a day. So it's always something on. And we had a TV in our kitchen at the time. So I was passively watching all the time, like, yeah, this is cool. But I didn't actually put 2 and 2 together. So I was like, right, okay, what's it about? And he was like, oh, just about business and what we can do. I said, okay, well, you go do that then. Just let me know how it goes. And then I'd been working in the police all day and I had come home and he was just full of excitement and buzzing. He was like, you've got to listen to it. It was really, really good. And I was like, right. He goes, I booked you in for a call tomorrow as well. Like, you're going to listen to it tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, wait, what is it? And he's like, it's going to help. It's going to help for our business. So we, both then jumped on the call with Chris and had some more information and it was really good, to be fair. I am quite, I'm more...
Held back?
Yeah,
risk
reserved.
averse. Yeah,
and I like take my time with things. And Tommy's like a little excitable puppy sometimes. So I'm like, right, slow down. Let's have a think about it. But I was actually sold on the call. I actually said to Tom, like, we're not going to give an answer on the call, like whether we're going to join or not. We're going to have time to think about it. But by the end of the call, I actually sat there. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's invest in the calls.
So the question I have for you is, what made you decide to book that call? Because like normally there's like a trigger moment for someone. They're like, oh, fuck this. I need to change the situation I'm in.
I think it was that idea around like January being the time we wanted to move and think. I think we, again, between January and March, things in our business, I don't think they had really progressed very much. And because we had that goal in sight, I think it was more so stuff like we want to do something to actually progress now.
Yeah, I think sort of that where we are now, February, has always been really good for me as a PT. And that last year, it wasn't improved on the year before. So I knew it is kind of stale, and I was kind of trying things and I'm putting effort into doing content, trying this, trying that, but not really knowing exactly what to do. So it was like, I need a mentor. Like, it's the same as me coaching someone. Like, you get there quicker if someone helps you. So it was time to invest, really. And I mean, it like pretty much pays for itself within first month or two. So
how do you think your day-to-day life compares today compared to maybe a year ago then?
It's baffling, to be fair. Like, yeah. I mean, when we signed up, we wanted to move here probably by the end of 26, early 2027. And like, we pretty much confirmed it just before we come out in November for the mastermind. And that just like completely solidified it. So yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's a dream really. And like, I think from us, you can kind of see all of these guys who are like just grafting non-stop, which is really, really good. But for us, like, we've had a really good life through that year as well. Like being on holiday, doing the bodybuilding preps, seeing our friends all the time. So like from us, we like to actually show that you can do it whilst having a life. You don't just have to work 12 hours, 6-7 days a week. So you can take time off to go on holiday. As long as you kind of are prepping and planning for all this stuff, you can still get it all done. So people who kind of think that, oh, you've got to work 12 hours, 6 days a week and not have a life, that's not true at all. I mean, to be fair, coming here now, we are kind of doing that a bit more, because to get to that next level, you need to. But we still kind of try and have that downtime, especially doing it together as well. It's important that you still have that relationship and you're not just fully focused on business. But at the same time, we're constantly pushing each other, aren't we? Coming up with new ideas. It's just, yeah.
I think in terms of like actual life though, how life looks different, it is very different. Like you wake up and it's grey, it's cold in January, you're tired, like you have like a little bit of like not that get up and go. And then the hours that we actually work, I know we enjoyed life, but the hours that we were actually working were still very full on from like this point last year compared to now. And if you think about it, like for me, when I was in the police doing the shifts, I was getting up on an early shift, for example, I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning, you get up, train or do the cardio, go do your shift at work, finish. I might finish at 4 in the police or PM, or I might finish at 8 PM, depending on what's happened in the day. And then I'd have clients in the evening, like 8 till 9. I might have some online coaching to do or go train, go to bed. Like that day itself is so full on. Whereas now, because we're online, yes, it's full on, but like we wake up, we take the dog for a walk by the beach. I then like can train, I do my cardio, then I can do my clients at home. Like the freedom we have because of the decisions we made, life actually does look so much different now.
Now, I'm not going to sound like Stephen Bartlett, but I know a lot of people coming onto our podcast and who are not subscribing but still enjoying the content. If I have one small ask from you, it's please hit the subscribe button. It'll help us a lot. And you have that freedom because you took the risk. And I think what's also important, and this is why I have a lot of respect for you, because it's kind of similar to my story of like what you were saying about the like working when I was in the car sales, like the same as me in the fucking as an estate agent, because I'd work 8 till 6:30. I was doing like bodybuilding shows the year, I think, before I left. So I was having to like train before and after. You know, like 100, maybe 200 coaching clients at one point then as well. And then managing a full-time job of like running a business for someone else as like a manager. It was like fucking anarchy. Yeah. But the decision that I made, I was like, and Mike would testify this, I fucking procrastinated for about 8 months in terms of quitting my job.
I was going to say, how long did you do it for? About 8 months? Because mine was 6 months. And it was
I was coaching from like 2017 to maybe 2019, really? Like on the side. And I was making more than 5K a month for at least probably 18 months. And then for me, I was like, just some extra money and like I could pay for, like the first time I ever came to Dubai was money. I never even wanted to come here, which is ironic. My ex-partner wanted to come and I paid for the trip from money from my PayPal account that I made from coaching. I was like, this is fucking sick. It was like $6,000. I was like, this is sick. Because it's almost
not
like
real money.
Yeah, it's not real money, right? Because it's not for my job. And HMRC didn't know about it. So like that was kind of great. So I think I suddenly realized, well, like if I'm doing pretty well and I'm spending 50 hours a week at this other thing and spending 2 hours a day commuting, well then it's almost impossible that my business won't double if I just have all my time and focus back in.
Yeah.
And then it as soon as I kind of made that decision, everything just grew really, really quickly because I was like all in. I had no other option.
I think that's similar to when because I was doing sort of, when I signed up with you, I was still doing 5 days of 6 hours at the gym on the desk whilst doing 2 or 3 PTs and kind of just fitting in the coaching as and when on the weekends. And then you kind of get to a point where you've got so many clients and you're making X amount of money and you're kind of like, why am I still sort of sat here doing this when I can do this, which is sort of more enjoyable, more money. And you know that if you do go all in, the hours that you can put in, you're probably going to do like 10 times the amount. It's going to spiral no matter what, especially after like investing into you guys. It's kind of like, so if I've invested, why am I not investing all of my time into it?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because you only have so many hours in the day to commit to something, don't you? So when you have to make that decision about what's worth my time, like what has actually got a higher value to what return I can get, it was similar. I was at a point with the police where I couldn't take on any more clients. It was too much. And I really, again, I'd invested into the course. I really wanted to keep going. And it was a decision of actually, do I choose something that I still enjoy? Do I choose the freedom at that time and the passion behind it? Because it's long hours, it's stress, and like you don't know when you're coming home, the danger you're putting yourself into. We had the conversation where actually if I want to go self-employed, I actually can now. When you realise you're making more than what you're making doing all those really hard days, you actually think, why am I still doing this?
And also the thing I started to realise is like, even sometimes like, I work really hard now. It's like, well, dude, like I work from home and then I don't have to go out, put a suit on, drive an hour to work in the fucking pissing rain in the dark. And actually a big part of it, transparently, was I just wanted to work out when I wanted to work out. I don't want to work out fucking 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best things, not having to put that suit on each day. Especially when you're a big dude in the summer as well. Like
I just sweating. Like,
yeah, it's horrible. I don't miss doing that at all. But I think it was important that we did kind of do it in stages a little bit as well. So I went down from like 5 days at the gym to 3 days at the gym, filled up those days, got comfortable, then kind of went from there, and we managed to drop your night shifts, didn't we?
Yeah. So I made that. So that was a good first step, because nights were really difficult as well, trying to put everything in there. And you sort of suggested, I think it's time to go part-time first. There were some other things going on which allowed me to do that, which was really helpful. And then I think once I had dropped the night shifts, and that's when I sort of decided, actually, I think I'm ready to step away from this fully now. But if you can do it alongside something else when you're first starting out, it's a really good way to sort of build your own trust, build your own confidence in the value of what you're doing and your own skills. And once you have that sort of reputation behind you, when you're ready, just go all in when you can.
That's essentially kind of what I did as well. I actually say to people, like, don't fucking quit your full-time job.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got a job where you make like 3-5 grand a month, whatever it is, just keep the job and use that to fund your exit strategy of your side hustle, because then also you're not mentally shit in the bed if you haven't had a client for 5 days or whatever. Because that's kind of like the safety net, and use the safety net to then build like the kind of exit.
You're more likely to potentially quit, aren't you, if it,
And it gives you resources to invest into that business. I think this is also what I find frustrating people is like, the coaching businesses and type of businesses we have are like the only businesses in the world where you don't really have to put any money into it to launch it. Like if you were going to start a car dealership or something, you'd have to put a pile of cash into it. Like pretty much any business, you have to put loads of money into launch. But something like a coaching business, you can fund with a little money in terms of getting some knowledge and then maybe some paid ads or editing and content and stuff. And then suddenly you've got a business that makes 10, 20K a month in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's when sort of explaining to you a little bit more as well, it was showing that there's not actually as much risk there as what you think. If you kind of put your mind to it, and if you know where you're putting your money, so like for example, bringing a setter on board, you know that you're bringing the right one on board. Yeah, you might have to go through a couple. Yes, you might have to do a lot of training, but it's kind of doing. Also, if you don't like doing DMs, for example, it's doing focus on what you want to do, and where you can sort of bring someone in to help you, then you're just going to keep going forwards.
Why do you guys think you specifically have done so well in 12 months when so many people can't do so well in 12 months, yet they have the same tools at their disposal?
I think it's having the goals in place that we wanted to achieve. And to be honest, we just said, like, why are we still doing what we don't want to be doing? I remember we had that conversation, like the long hours, and we're like, if we don't go all in and do everything we need to be doing now, we're not going to get there, or we're just going to delay time. And for us, I think where we are in our relationship and in life as well, like children and like settling down is on the horizon. However, we have both agreed and said, like, there's so much we want to do first. Like, we really want to build our business. If we want to move to Dubai, we need to just get on and do it. Like, there's no point waiting another year. Like, we want to get out, grow the business, like, have our, for our standpoints, have our successful careers, and then be in the position to settle down. So if we were just to like keep chilling and not really push hard, it's just going to delay everything. So that was, I think, actually one of the biggest reasons we've done well as well, just having a clear goal posts and like goals in place for what we want for our future, and thinking, actually, if we don't get on and just do the work that needs to be done and push hard now, it's just going to be delayed.
And I think doing it together. So I feel like I thought I was pushing hard when, after starting the course and Amber being involved as well, I feel like that's kind of pushed me further. Whereas in old relationships, like when I first started the PT sort of thing, it was kind of like, it wasn't really reciprocated, and it was kind of like they want more of your time, whereas we both kind of understand it. We're trying to have switch off times, that's one of our goals for 2026. Like after 8 p.m, try not to have
Talk
as much
about work.
Yeah.
We sit there across the dinner table still talking about, and we have to remind each other, no work talk now.
But it's hard when it's your passion and you both love it as well. So, but yeah, doing it together definitely sort of pushed us further sooner, I would say.
And we motivate each other. We bounce ideas off each other quite well, and I think that's really good. We're always asking each other and learning, because like I'm better at some things, you're better at some things, and that really, really helps.
Yeah, reassuring each other. If I've struggled with a certain thing and you might be a little bit down about it, then Amber will pull me back up, and vice versa.
So how has your perception of money and pricing changed since you started like working with us, and from maybe where you were at the beginning? Because you mentioned, similar to what I did, you were charging £40 a month before.
Yeah.
And I saw, I think the other day you had a guy who was young, like 21, 22, sign up and pay 3k.
Yeah.
So like there's a big difference in terms of
100%.
that story.
So I think the level of service just keeps evolving, and the level of results as well. So obviously you can prove that you can actually do the thing, you've got social proof, all the results are really, really good. So that kind of attracts sort of better clients, and you're niching down more and more. So that as well. But also just getting rid of kind of limiting beliefs. Like before December, I hadn't even sold like a 12-month package. And I think it was something you said in November when we were here, and I was just like, why the hell have I not tried it? Just try it. And like, I think like the next 4 calls all paid 12 months. So, and you're just like, why have I not been doing that for so long?
It's confidence.
Yeah, it is just confidence.
Confidence is a massive thing, and it's not that you can't do it or that you shouldn't, but I think it's actually valuing your level of skill set, valuing your knowledge, valuing your results, like your level of authority in the industry, and then putting like a valuable price on that. And in terms of like pricing structures as well, I think the 12-month thing is actually really good. It's something that I've taken on in my business now, and I only do 12-month or 6 months. But when I first started, I was just doing 12-week programs. I couldn't seem to get my clients past that, because we would get amazing results in 12 weeks. And that would be like, their mindset is locked into that 12 weeks. They think, yeah, okay, I'm done now. But there's so much more to a fitness transformation than just the 12-week physical. Yeah. It's the mindset, it's everything else.
The overall package.
And I think, now that I've upgraded to the 6-month and 12-month packages, my clients are getting even better results though, because it's the long-term commitment we're making to each other, not just like a rolling monthly, I can give up at any time. You know you've invested, you know that you set those expectations and standards for yourself for the next 6 or 12 months. And I think the clients really actually are doing so much better from having that viewpoint as well.
Yeah, it's not just normal sort of monthly coaching. It's much more than a diet plan, a training plan. You're getting modules where you're learning about confidence, structure, stress, more in-depth training, more in-depth nutrition. So having those modules there, and then recently we've implemented blood testing and food intolerance tests, which just gets. So after 2 weeks for someone being on the plan, once the food settled in, the training settled in, we'll run the tests. At that point, it's going to give us a lot more evidence to get results quicker. So we can then adapt the plan that little bit more. And just a couple of small tweaks can make such a big difference, rather than you're kind of like constantly not guessing, but you've got to learn that later on down the line. So that's quite a bit of value in there as well, I think.
And that sort of brings up with the price point, doesn't it? Again, because the level of service keeps growing, which is what we want, because we want better results for our clients. We want them to get quicker, better results, like more like lifetime results. That's what we are sort of pitching towards now.
So I think one of the big things that, and I'll get your perspective on it. So the reason people won't charge higher prices is an identity and kind of like a self-worth thing. And once your identity shifts in terms of how you see yourself, you're like, this is the minimum charge. Would you say that's kind of fair?
Yeah, 100%. And come to the mastermind in November, that like when we come away from that, I think we had sales calls like that second night, and we both sold, and we both sold like, we were still had the 6 months there, and they both sold, and we were like, right, let's do set up the 12 months now. And yeah, the limiting beliefs, the hypnotist dude,
Ibrahim,
Oh, yeah.
we actually seen him the first day we were here this year in the Airbnb. It was like, I've just bought the penthouse upstairs.
Oh yeah, I mean, he said that was one of our clients. Yeah.
So
I think that actually like really helped. That was an amazing experience. I never would have like put myself into necessarily, but because it was part of the mastermind, it was incredible. And I think it is the limited beliefs, like knowing that you can like pitch a price that suits the quality of your work. And it's not even like the price point, it is, I think it's like the longevity and the time that person is willing to spend with you. In my head, I thought, well, why would anyone want to spend 12 months of coaching with me? But actually, like, there's so much to it that they would want to. And once you remove that, you do start being so much confident in your decision making and pitching, and just those limiting beliefs just do disappear.
And actually at the point now where if you are on a call with someone and they don't look as driven as what you are and what you want them to be, actually you don't have to take them on.
Yeah.
So it's being in that position and actually picking your niche properly.
Because with that sort of, as you develop your skill set and your package and your course offer, you then are attracting the clients suitable at that price point, but are just more down to your niche. It's not having like a good quality or bad quality client. It's about what those intentions that they have for themselves. Typically, if you're signing up for 6 or 12 months, that client's going to be more committed to someone who has done all the shakes, or they don't really like have the true intention. They just want the quick fix.
So you mentioned obviously the event was pretty pivotal for you. What was and you'd obviously worked for us a while, and this is where I get so fucking pissed off that we have clients and loads of people live in Dubai who don't come to the events, or even like the free small ones.
That was
like,
amazing the other
day.
day.
I'll help you for free for 3 hours. Just ask me whatever you want. Like I get nothing from that other than like good. I just like helping. Want to see you guys crush. What would be your advice to people, like whether they should come to, say, we've got the next event in March?
I'll do it, hands down.
You're just stupid if you don't. Like the money that it costs and the time that it costs. Like we made it back the next night. And like we may not have done that, and then like our business kind of just spiraled again. We both had PB months in November, and we didn't make a sale until after the event. So, and I think was the event like middle of November?
Month.
Like after that event, I don't know what it was. It was just so inspiring. I think just being around. What we did say is being around people who, again, been in the position where we are, and they are a lot further ahead, but they're so normal and so nice. And like you do just have these beautiful conversations with different types of people you wouldn't meet back home in the little village we're living in. We flew out to Dubai and met all these amazing people. We're inspired by so many people's stories, and we had the education from different speakers, which was amazing. And I just remember feeling like this absolute fire in me afterwards. It was just completely transformative. And I actually transparently hadn't had a sale all November up until then. So even then I was like, oh, this is a good idea, but okay, we'll go. And then, I made the best month I've ever had. And I couldn't believe it within a week. I think it was like 7 or 8 days. 7 or 8 days I made all my sales, and I was just absolutely blown away. But I think it was just thinking I could do it, and why not? If they can, I can. Like,
There was a thing as well, actually. I remember, I think it was one of the first Tuesday calls with you, and you said about getting the Amex card.
Yeah.
And like that Amex card, so the flights to come out for November was meant to be £1,150. They were both £100 each with the Amex card. So
well,
what you had said,
points.
Basically, if we didn't have the Amex card, we probably wouldn't have come because we had just put X amount aside to move here.
Yeah.
So just like everything just interlinks, every like especially with the course who you meet, everything. And sometimes you feel like you're in a bit of a bubble dream world. And even more so, like once we've got here and like the opportunities we've had coming here and stuff like that. So
I think you've created your own luck because you backed yourself to go and do it, and also you've absorbed as much as possible and continue to do so. Like the credit card, like the amount of stuff that I tell people to do and they don't do it, I'm like, dude, like there's a reason why I tell you to do this, because like I know it works. I've done it myself for a long time, and so have all these other people. And I think why you get so much benefit from going to the events is like, because I remember personally having this when I first went to a big one in America. I was like, these are just like, this guy seems kind of fucking retarded and he makes loads of money, so like, I can fucking definitely do this. So it's like I feel I'm way smarter than him, so like for me it gives you more self-belief.
It feels just that much in reach, I think, when you actually meet these people, because you see everyone's doing amazingly and you can see their business transforming. You're just like, what are they doing? And when you talk to them, it's not actually usually much different to what you're already doing. It's just the way they've implemented it, or how fast they've done it, or to what scale they've done it, and you think actually that is so much more attainable than I thought it would be.
And the fact that they've just been doing it a bit longer, like a year ago I hated getting in front of the camera, whereas that's been like a big change this year, just constantly doing the thing. Friends might take the piss, but it doesn't matter. Like, you just got to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, put the reps in, and like you'll be rewarded. So now it's just take that to the next level.
So if anyone who wants to come to our event in March, there's a link in my Instagram bio to get, I think we have a discount tickets to the 6th of February, so definitely come. This is also probably going to be the best event we've ever had. So the people we have speaking, we've got a guy called Mike Rador, who's sick, he's been on the podcast. I'm obviously speaking. We've got Javi Diaz, who's the biggest coach in Spain, sold over 10,000 high-ticket clients in a year. A friend of mine, Anthony, he's got the biggest coach in South American market. We've now also then got another coach, we've got Ollie Ollerton, who was an SS, who dares wins. Obviously in Hot CC guys, I think we're talking as well. So there's going to be, it'll probably be the biggest one we've ever had. So that will be pretty sick.
Exciting.
So,
that sounds
really
good. Yeah, we can't wait.
And touching on obviously the event last Friday, the Friday before, like being able to be in that little bit smaller group. So that's another reason why we wanted to come. People might think it's a small thing, but getting more access to you and more time, like that smaller group, like me and Amber almost felt bad because we were asking so many questions.
But that's what I wanted, because literally, I think I said at the beginning, it's just like rake me for information, just ask me anything you want as much as possible.
And like we come away with more ideas, more knowledge, more clarity on what the next kind of steps are.
More direction.
And that's definitely helped like this month already. So
what would you say is the biggest thing you took from that out of interest?
The upselling, I think, is a really good part. I really liked the fact about sort of after the first 4 to 6 weeks, sort of looking at what your clients' goals are, how far they're getting into it, and like pitching them, and like how we can actually longevity wise get them there. That was really good.
I think for me it was more having clarity on what to actually focus on, knowing that what I'm doing is working, just sort of volumize that a little bit more rather than going too far ahead too soon. And actually one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how do you kind of think, how do you stay so focused when you've got so much going on, like you've got baby now? How do you stay so focused on what is those exact sort of 3-4 things you've got to do that day, and then the next day and the next day?
So it's event, I actually was having this conversation Mike before this, because the last day's been a bit of a shit show. So I ended up going to hospital last night with the baby. It's nothing major, and then I had to drop them before this there as well. So and this is also why I say, like, if you're in a position, I said to someone yesterday, if you want to have children, like, get your business to a point where it's fucking doing well. Because if I just stayed in bed all day, the thing will kind of just keep going anyways. It doesn't really matter at a certain point. Whereas if you're the one kind of doing everything, it's going to be a challenge, which is also why, like, anyone listening to this, you might be okay now, but if you want to have a family down the line, like, you kind of need to get a bigger business. How I personally try and stay focused, the biggest thing I find is that I probably would say I've learned the last year is, like, skills are actually really easy to learn. Like, if you're an intelligent person and coachable, like, you can learn anything. The hardest thing is, like, mindset. So getting the mindset and the identity, say, of a person who can make $1 million a year is the difficult thing. So what I try and focus on doing, like, first thing every day is, like, I kind of journal using AI. So I'll get it to ask me questions and I'll just write things out. I find it clears my head and I just write out, like, what I have to do, and kind of very intentional with that. And if you look at the most successful people, they're very analytical, so they'll analyze themselves. Because why some people are really successful and other people aren't isn't necessarily because, like, the guys in the construction workers work harder than I do, but I have a high leverage thing that I'm doing, or I'm fixing a higher level problem. So I think why a lot of coaches just burn themselves out and don't really go anywhere is because they're fixing like a chapter 11 problem, but they're still at chapter 1, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
That's something we actually even fell victim of right at the start, I think.
I think now we've kind of, even just looking at your calendar, so like now I'm doing like a weekly review on the business. Where are the bottlenecks? Ataza shared some really good Google Sheets where the setters are tracking stuff, and you kind of see where the bottleneck is. Is it the reply rate? Is it getting them to the call? Are they turning up to the call? So having that in place, but at a much higher scale, and actually reviewing it every week, reviewing like what's going through your business as in your banks, planning the next day ahead, planning the week ahead, doing that now. You kind of think, oh, but are you wasting time doing that? Because that's what goes through my head. You're kind of like, you're creating a task to do another task, but if you're kind of like ADHD brain, then it's going to make you be quicker.
But also what it's doing is it's making sure you're actually doing the right task. And you're like, the greatest question in business and life is like, what problem does this solve? Because a lot of things seem like a great idea, but then like, okay, we can just make more content, but like, is that the problem? Or is it, okay, your offer, your price, your setters, your niche? Like, I think that's where and I say my personal superpower is looking at someone's business and being like, oh, that's what's wrong. You need to fix that. And then the business tends to grow really quick, which is also something like AI can't do. Like AI, and same in like coaching, like AI can't see the nuance in terms of things or people's personality or blind spots. So I think that is, it's like intuition, which is a difficult thing to kind of quantify.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think for us as well, like we're getting to that stage now where we're stopping being so nice in the business as well. So we both fired our setters, basically, after not booking sort of as many calls, and we actually done a bit of content with Mike last week that was really, really good, and a guy messaged me off the back of that, and he was like, can I work your account for 3 days as a free trial and see what I can do? And so my last set, I hadn't booked a call for 6 weeks. I booked a few jumping in, and this lad booked 3 calls in an hour, one of them being the 21-year-old with 3K.
So what was the difference, do you think, in performance?
Commission based only.
Okay.
So definitely that. Me and him actually jumped on a call when we clicked. Like, he reminds me of me when I was that age.
Okay.
And I kind of tried to like motivate him a bit, but also kind of like he was going to a rave, and like we used to do a bit of that, and like the DJ was going to see us, who we used to go watch.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, make sure you do that whilst you're this age, but work hard now and you'll kind of get to where you want to be. And just he's English as well. The conversations are just flowing. He speaks like I do. It just clicked basically, and he's putting in the reps basically.
What we've learned from that, I think, and it's definitely something we're going to try and be stronger with this year, is like when something's not working, stop it and move on. Whereas,
what's the saying that you said? Hire fast, fire faster.
Yeah. I think that's because, but it's the first time we've hired anyone into our business, so you learn from it. But I think we would have saved so much time and money just getting rid when you know something's not.
But then that's working. Also like you don't know what you don't, and like I can tell people that, but then until you personally done it, like, oh shit. And like even I hired someone recently, and like he's fucking insane, and I'm like, I can see how good he is because he pushes back on me and stuff of like kind of stopping me trying to do things like, this is fucking stupid. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you mean. Like, and that's when someone's really good, because they're not just a yes man.
Thing is, when you're running a business, you've got to learn not just to be too nice. And we're both always too nice with everyone. And that's something I think we're trying to sort of hold back on. And definitely in business, we're learning that as like the team leader, as your business, you need to sort of actually think, no, I'm not being too nice to you. This is my business. This is me on the line. If something's not working, we need to change it. Yeah,
and there's potentially less people that you're then helping because you're not bringing as many people in. So it's like the knock-on effect of not being able to help as many people get where they want to be. And then they're all out there. You've just got to kind of find the people, get your face in front of there, match with that niche, and you can help more people.
So obviously you guys have done really well in a very short period of time. And a lot of people will say the coaching market is saturated. What's your opinion of that?
I don't agree. I think there is a niche for everyone, and you've just got to play on your own experiences and your own background. I think for me, I've gone into the busy professional ICA woman because I was a really busy person and still managed to get in the best shape of my life last year. Like we said, we was coaching, personal training, policing shifts, early days, nights, and ultimately, my stance is when someone says they're too busy to get in shape or too busy to get fit and healthy, you don't want it enough. Like, you're not too busy. The way you work around that is making time. You either have excuses or you can have progress, and they don't go hand in hand. So for me, I think playing on your own background, that's your leverage, because it's your story that you can then help other people with. So if I can manage busy schedules around lots of other things going on, I want to help other busy women be in that position as well, because I think if ultimately when you're busy as well, if you're running a business, if you're in a high sort of power position, you are the face of either another company or your company. So if you don't look like you respect yourself, how can you ask anyone else to respect you? I think, and that's something like that I've found as I've gone through, even in policing. If I don't, I'm a small, very small, petite female, but I need to come across strong, confident, powerful, and that comes from how I feel about myself. So with me training hard, with me feeling good, looking good, and feeling confident, a woman, that then helped me in my policing career to be authoritative and be confident, and then be confident enough to help other women be confident.
Yeah, so sort of putting yourself first as well, making sure you're looking after yourself, you're in shape all year round, and just showing that you're actually putting the work in.
Because your niche is similar as well. I don't think it is saturated at all. It's what you put in and the type of people that you're going to, because you naturally attract a certain type of person. I think that usually does come from your story.
Yeah,
as well.
You need to play on your story a lot to attract certain people in and be different and offer a different service. How can you make your service different than others? How can you get results quicker? You've got to have social proof. So I remember sort of back at the start, touching on the sort of £40 a month. That back then, I was helping friends get in shape for free, and like pick the guys who you think are going to do well, who've got good genetics. Like, use your brain if you're trying to start, and as soon as you've got social proof, you can do anything with it really.
Well, you've then got proof of concept, which is the biggest thing. Like, you yourself in great shape, and you've got this other person in great shape. Well, he clearly fucking knows what he's doing then.
Yeah. I think any market can be saturated. It's just the amount of work, time you put in, and just making sure you are different, because everyone's unique. Everyone's got something different about them, which makes you unique. And this was actually something I've probably recently stepped into more, and that was one of my limiting beliefs back in November when we had the hypnotist thing. I regrettably spoke up and said my biggest fear was that maybe I'm not like unique enough, but actually everyone is, and you just have to let that fear go. And if you are starting out as an online coach or in something, to make sure you are going to stand out, you need to think about your personal journey, what you've done, and realistically, that fear of me maybe thinking I'm not unique enough, that's just the fear of what other people think, and people don't actually care what you're doing. You just need to focus on what you're doing and just like experiment with your personality, experiment with what makes you stand out.
Yeah. Talk to the camera more. Posting every day was a big thing for us.
Yeah.
That was one of the key movers, I think, just posting every day. And like, there might have been some days where it would be like time to post and be like, shit, what we doing, what we're going to post, and we kind of do it together. But then you get past that bit, whereas now we're like 2 weeks ahead with content. It's all mapped out. We speak to Mike on the weekly calls about things that we want to change and what sort of good ideas, and it's slowly becoming more and more kind of niche down. So yeah, it's not saturated. You've got to be different.
Would you still recommend people to go into the fitness and online coaching space?
Yeah, 100%. Well, my setter, his brother's doing it, and he basically asked for some free advice, so I can jump on a call with him at the weekend. My first bit of advice would be to save up as much money as you can to join Seven Figure as soon as possible. But just a few sort of key pointers in the right direction, just not being too broad with what you're doing. Like I said, coach people for free to start with, get them in good shape.
So most of our audience is kind of male who listen to this, but we obviously work with a lot of females, Amber. So a lot of women, I think, are a lot more afraid about investing in themselves and pushing their business. You mentioned like Tommy's like super excitable, was one kind of initially instigated. What would be your advice to women who are afraid about investing themselves, and a lot of that time is maybe like a confidence issue? What would be your advice to them?
My advice is stop thinking about what might be going wrong and just think about what could go right from it. I think it is a big thing. And I luckily had Tommy to fall back on, I have to admit, for that confidence. As I sort of mentioned before, it's Tommy that first sort of had the idea. And I'm a planner, I'm very reserved. I like stability. I like things like I never thought I would leave my policing job. It's stable, it's comfortable, you've got a pension, like it's a very good job to most people. And I never thought I'd leave that to do something completely self-employed. That never would have been what I thought would happen. But you have to think about the life you want for yourself, how you're going to get that. And usually it's betting on yourself and saying, I can do this. You just have to have the confidence to say and to think about what you want from life and maybe what sacrifices you're going to have to make to get there, but also like how would you feel if you're still in that position in 5 years' time? Like, is where you are right now what you want to be doing? And if it's not, then you do have to take that risk, because the worst thing that's going to happen is it may not work out, and that's fine. But most of the time it will. If you put the level of dedication, work, drive, passion and love into something, it is going to develop and it is going to sort of get you to where you want to be.
Well, I've never seen anyone who's had the mindset of I'll do whatever it takes and it's not worked. Like
Yeah,
it is impossible.
Absolutely. Exactly. And that was the whole point of like even moving to Dubai. We have to have that mindset of we're going to make it work. Like it is sometimes you have to put yourself in like a sink or swim environment just to like actually do it. But if that's the way it works, then fine. But like you said, like if you work so hard for something and you tell yourself it's going to work, then like it will work.
And even if it doesn't, you just go back to where you was.
We're in the same place.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like,
you haven't lost anything. You've not.
Life's too short. You've got to take risks.
I don't know if you thought about this about the car thing, but like for me when I was like in a stage and it's like, well, if this doesn't work, I've tried to be headhunted loads of times to get a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like
even in the police, like I was really scared. Like I was terrified to leave the police. It's something I'd worked for. My family like loved what I was doing, and it was I was proud of everything I'd done, but I was really scared. And I got to the point actually where I was like, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter if my family don't think it's a good idea, maybe. It doesn't matter if people around me think, well, why is she leaving the police? And actually, if I really want to, I can go back and be a police officer in the UK again if I wanted to. Like, it's not that big of a difference. We can go to Dubai, we can like work for what we want, but if it doesn't work out, you haven't lost anything. I can just go back to doing the job I was doing before. Because I think even in the police, there's a very big, sort of hot conversation where people moan about what you're doing, but they don't actually do anything to leave or change life. So I think when I did leave to do something, for some people it was actually quite a shock that I was actually doing something about getting out of a certain environment.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest risks now is living with regret. Mm-hmm. And I think going into the next like level, and I've seen a few of you guys on your podcast kind of say it, and it's like you don't want to get to like 60 and think, oh, I didn't do that. So now it's like the first risk's done, or quite a few risks have been done. What's the next higher risk? Like chase the risks. Yeah. Like it's a good thing.
And also like your risk tolerance increases the more success you have, because you have more confidence and you have more momentum, and it kind of loops. And then when you start to take bigger swings, you get like bigger returns. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like saying to you, like the hardest thing is having a smaller business. If you get the business a bit bigger, it actually kind of gets easier. And then the reward is much bigger as well.
Yeah. So one of my goals for 2026 actually is to be able to book you for the whole day.
Okay.
That's my goal for the end of 2026. So, I mean, I know it's not a risk, but obviously most people think like that's a massive risk sort of thing. So that's the next big risk.
That I think. What other goals have you got for 2026?
Sort of have consistent 20k months individually, so 40k months in between us.
And where are you now for context for everyone?
November after your mastermind, we hit 28k between us, and that pretty much paid for the Dubai move, which is crazy when you think about it. This month looks really, really good at the minute. We might break past that if it continues. So just having a little bit more consistency, and I think now we've got numbers in there, we've got good setters and stuff like that. That's going to keep growing. But just get to 100 clients online individually, build a bit of a bigger team, maybe be in the position to hire a coach. Just keep helping as many people as possible within our niche, but being able to be like, right, I am investing 20% back into the business. I'm going to invest 15-20% into other things like shares and ISAs and whatnot. I want to get a nice car here now. Now I had a nice car back home. I've come here, I'm driving a small car. I've got backache. I want a nice car. Like Amber says about being excited about you. I've realised you can get a G-Wagon for $1,500 a month. And it's just like, So yeah, things like that. But what about you?
I think in terms of goals, I think for us, I saw last year as like our true foundation year. Like we really got the building blocks of the business going. We really found our feet with it. We've really zoned in on our ICA, who we want to help, how we're going to help them, and those sorts of things. So this year for me, I think is about growth. That's what I want our business to grow. I want the number of people we can help grow. I want the way we help them to grow.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, with the female side of stuff, there's a really big sense of community and empowerment within females. And I love the support network that we come together. And I feel like they're saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. I feel like when you talk about that in terms of your journey, so people could be gaining weight, losing weight, overcoming eating disorders, anything like that, but you all have a common goal in a way of wanting to be fitter and healthier. So building that community, I think, is a big goal for me this year, to sort of share that message more throughout our clients.
Yeah.
Holding team days, I'd like to do more. I do photo shoots. Well, obviously we're in Dubai, but we're going to aim to go back to the UK a few times a year, and we want to make sure that when we are there, we do something big for our clients to still maintain that community feel, even though we're not in the country.
I think coaching more couples as well. Like we've had a few, and they do really, really well. So trying to get more couples to kind of do it together, they can kind of look into our story and just see how well it works. I think that's something that we've touched on, but we haven't sort of gone all in on that. So going all in on that a little bit more as well.
I'd quite like to be able to sort of fly our families out for Christmas this
Yeah.
year. That'd be a nice goal.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big goal. What would you say, obviously, how long have you lived in Dubai now? 2 months?
Be
6
6 weeks
6 weeks,
on
less than
Monday.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would be your initial impression after the first 6 weeks? Some people love it, some people will hate it for some
Love it.
reason. Okay.
Absolutely amazing. Like
Yeah.
it's just the only thing that I don't like, and it's such a small thing, is traffic, and you can get around that anyway.
That's because you lived in a quiet place at before.
Exactly, but everything is like amazing. It's like succeeded. Even coming here on holiday and stuff has succeeded. Everything's just the
amazing.
people you're around. You're happy. There's no sort of depression.
I love the sun. I love that we can wake up and walk on the beach every day. Like, it's a dream that we brought our dog over with us, little Ruby, and she came on the airplane with us. So she's under 8 kilos. She could literally fly right in front of us with Etihad in her little carry case. And that was just amazing. And having her with us, it sounds so weird, just feels really more like real and comforting. And it was a dream to be able to wake up and go swimming in the sea with Ruby and us together. And that's what we can do every day here now, which is just amazing. It's sunny, it's warm, and although everything is really go, 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 I feel so peaceful here.
Yeah.
I feel like
both a lot happier.
you're happier. Like, we're working hard, and it's very fast paced here. And Dubai is fast paced. You hear a lot of people say that, but I also feel quite zen and at peace.
I think the time, I was quite worried about being 4 hours ahead, but it's actually way better. So like in the morning, so I'm doing some one-to-one clients as well. Some of them like hybrid clients online as well. So I can sort of train 2 people in the morning. I can train myself before any clients have woke up. So rather than thinking like I've got to get that done sort of later on, I can get ahead and then be more focused on my clients as well, and sort of just, I feel like I'm giving more back to them now, even more so.
What would you recommend to people who are in the UK or somewhere else, maybe in Europe, who are thinking about moving to Dubai and they're a fitness trainer?
I'll just 100% do it. Like there's no better place to do it. Like you can, like for example, my PT, and I'm charging a bit more, but because there's no tax, you're kind of charging double. And people just more motivated, and people back home, for example, someone might see you in the gym, they won't come up and speak to you, but they then message you online. Whereas here, they just come straight up to you, whether you're in a coffee shop, whether you're in the gym, wherever you are. People are direct, and they're not going to like think about it. They're just on it straight away.
Action takers. And it's like, if you want something, you just do it here. You don't really wait around. I feel like that's a really good thing. And here in Dubai, health and fitness is such a big thing, which is why we moved here. It's not just the tax and other things. Like, we came here because health and fitness is at the forefront of most people's daily lives. You want to look good, you want to feel good, because obviously people are driven here, and if you look good, feel good, you're going to perform better. They all sort of come hand in hand, and I think that's a big consensus here in Dubai, which is why for the health and fitness industry, it works really well. Everyone wants to look good, feel good, and convenience is at its highest. It's so easy to eat well, to train well. You've got apartments in most apartment blocks for free. You don't have to pay for a gym membership, for that sort of thing. So for for health and fitness trainers, even one-to-one or online, it works so well because everyone around you has got the same sort of vibe.
Even from the one-to-one PT thing, I think about as well. Like nearly every gym in the UK will charge you for training clients in the gym. Most of them here don't charge the trainers, and the second you don't pay income tax.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so you're not losing out on
whatever you
rent
get paid is straight in your pocket.
Yeah. Like our meal prep, we used to spend quite a lot of time cooking. Amber used to do a lot of it. I actually used to pay Amber to do it because it saved me a lot of time, and she quite enjoyed cooking. Here, every morning, 5 o'clock, all our meals at the door. They're exactly how we want them. They taste good.
And then we can spend more time back helping clients again.
Yeah,
but that's also the point. That's also what I'm trying to explain to people. It's like one of the things you have here is the efficiency in terms of like the way I try and like design my life as I'm either like working or I'm doing the stuff I want to do. It's like there's no like bullshit kind of in the middle of like
definitely that.
cooking, cleaning car, whatever.
Yeah.
So then you can be as high performance as you want to be, or you can kind of chill out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly that.
I think in the UK, there was days where I'd hit walls where, especially in the winter, like when it's darker, I would hit walls at maybe 11, 12 o'clock and I'd feel tired, like just full on working, training. Here, I've not had that. I've not experienced that once, whether it's because of the sun, whether it's like the people and just being happier in general. I think all of it sort of into one, really.
What would you say is the biggest thing you've learned from us or me at Seven Figure Scaling Systems?
Take more risks. Implementation.
Yeah.
Like don't
sit on it. If you've got an idea, do it.
Yeah.
If you want to add something to your business, do it. If you want to change something, do it. And I think working out how much you value your time as well, and employing people to help you do the tasks that are a bit more tedious, that you don't really need to be doing anymore, to allow you to put back into your coaching, your clients, and what's going to build that better. So figuring out how much your time's worth and whether you can employ someone to do that task to save you the time to do something else better. That's a massive thing I've learned.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to anyone who's listening to this, who's looking for help in terms of building a business and they're thinking about working with us?
100% do it.
Just do it. Just get on the call. I mean, you've only got to look at the guys. Like, for example, when we were in November, we just sat on the table with Giacomo.
Yeah.
He had 2,000 followers. I think he made 66K. And like, people probably look at that and think it's not real. Like, it's real. I went for dinner with him like 3 times there. And like, just speaking to more people from all around the world, it opens your eyes up. So
it's proven that the systems and what you teach us works. We're normal people. We lived in a little village in the countryside with our dog, and we liked health and fitness. And yes, we sort of had trained and we had good knowledge. We just didn't really know how to grow our businesses or implement it in the right way. There's nothing amazing that we've changed. We've just sort of done it and grown our confidence, learned from other people, and things just keep snowballing.
The calls have been so good for us as well.
Oh, amazing.
So it holds you accountable. You've got your own one-to-one coach, which Dan's been absolutely amazing. He'll jump on a call with me whenever I need to. You can speak to him in Slack, speak to anyone in Slack, but then having the weekly calls, Taza on a Monday, just more about sort of conversation. Tuesday, the calls with you where you just learn something different every time. The sales calls on Wednesday, the calls with Mike doing the content. It makes you think. You're not having to think as much, and you know what you're doing is right. And then more so, sort of now we're running ads a bit more with Aidan. You just get that bit more clarity. And if you are thinking, should I do this? Should I do that? Like you can just ask, and like pretty much every time it's the right decision.
And there's so much you don't know that you didn't know until you've learnt it. We sit there all the time like, oh, that's so good. Like, how did we not do that before? Why have we not done that? Didn't know you had to do that. And it helps so much. Those calls are really good, I find, because you're also listening to other people's questions, and again, things that you haven't thought about. And it might not be things like you said, it might be a chapter 11 of somebody else's, but that will come back around.
And you know it's coming.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it motivates you.
And you might, someone might be struggling something, but because you know how to tackle it, when we do get to that level, we're like, we can act on this and do it straight now.
I think the whole community as well, like, sometimes you might think someone who's like guys on the course doing 200k a month, and you might think, oh, like there's always that perception, isn't there? Like, oh, they might be a bit too busy, or I don't know, a bit stuck up. But they're just not. Everyone's such a tight knit community.
We've actually made some like nice friends from the event and stuff. Yeah. There's like a few people that we're in contact with, which is lovely, and it's really nice actually making friends who do what you do, and you can openly talk about what you're trying, testing, or your success, and not having that jealousy feeling, because you're all doing it together and you're all working towards the same goal, just in different ways. The community, I think, in Seven Figures is actually really, really lovely. And something I didn't quite expect.
I think so that's one of the biggest things I want to keep pushing, hence like doing all the small in-person events. And also if you look at like generally the people who are most successful just at anything in life, like particular clients we have, are like the nicest people. Like there's a guy, Zach Armstrong, who did his first 100K month, came on, he comes to all the calls on Tuesday, and he'll like answer people's questions and give his opinion. Like so nice. Really, really fucking smart guy.
Is he coming to the event?
I don't think so. But
No,
it'd be
he's
cool if he
very
did.
busy, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think it was used to be like a naval commander or something.
Yeah, he's a very direct guy, and that's even just seeing him on the call, I'm like, I need to be a little bit more direct. So you take little bits from every person, every coach.
Yeah, and then you blend that kind of into your own style.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to kind of finish up with is some 10 quick fire questions. If we go Tommy and then Amber.
Yeah.
So first question, what was scarier, quitting your jobs or staying in them?
Staying in them, definitely.
Staying.
Okay. What's the biggest lie people tell themselves about security?
They just think that they think there's not the next chapter, and they just settle too soon. So security is not security. Like you need to be open to new ideas, and if you want to just keep moving.
I think people think security is safe, but it's not always. Why would you want to be safe and unhappy? It's better to sort of take a risk and be successful and happy.
I was also going to add a quick interjection. I remember in my previous job, I had to fire 6 women a week before Christmas, and this is a big corporate company I worked for. So people think they have security and win it for a business. You don't. Like it's.
You make your own security as well. That's the other thing. Like when you build something that's successful and you are the powerhouse of it, that's your security. You're not putting it in someone else's hands.
Why do most people wait too long to bet on themselves?
They don't have big enough balls.
They don't believe in themselves that they can take the leap.
What changed immediately once you had no plan B?
There's no option to fail. You just go all in, you implement, and the results just come.
There's no you sink or swim, so you have to make it work.
Why is comfort more dangerous than failure?
Comfort's dangerous in every aspect of life, in a relationship, in a job. If you've not got your own fitness goals, it can make you just stay where you are, or even go backwards. You need to keep moving the goalposts forwards. Set big goals. Even if you don't get there, then you're going to keep improving.
Comfort means you stay in the position you were in for too long, which is heavily dangerous in many areas. If you're comfortable, you don't want to look elsewhere. You don't want to sort of keep moving, but actually that will hold you back.
What would have happened if you hadn't moved to Dubai?
Definitely wouldn't be as happy. Wouldn't be sat here doing this. Just the opportunities that have already come about. We're leveling up, not just business, not being happy, just everything's kind of, it feels like we're leveling up now, and we probably weren't for the year before we kind of joined the course.
I think we would have stayed in the same environment we're in, and we might have done okay, but we wouldn't be in the position that I think we're going to be in over the next few months.
What's one belief you had a year ago that feels ridiculous now?
Moving to Dubai and sort of making 10K a month, I guess.
Yeah, literally that we live in the sun. We have freedom over the time. I don't have to request for time off anymore. I can do whatever I want to do. And the fact that we can go swimming in the sea with our dog.
Yeah. And then final question, what do couples get wrong about building businesses together?
Not pushing each other, not setting the right kind of goals, and having a rigid routine that works for both of you to allow you to still have that downtime or that holiday or seeing family, those sorts of things.
I think forgetting that it's a relationship, not just the business. So we pride ourselves on making sure that we go for a date night, we have time away from the business. You're there to motivate each other. But I think when you do talk about work all the time, you forget to sort of set those boundaries and remember why you started it together.
I'm going to make one up as well. What advice would you give yourself 12 months ago?
From what I've learned? Take risks sooner, just aim the bar as high as possible, and just take in as much information as you can. Probably for me, I would say I've only just started implementing as fast as possible. I would definitely overthink things. Like if you know a concept works, just do it. I think you said to me the other day, like if something takes 5 minutes, you can just do it there and then, even if you have to stop the thing you're doing, just do it. And yeah, that compounds.
I'd say act as fast as possible. I definitely have a procrastination problem sometimes, and it's definitely getting better. But sometimes you just do make things harder than they have to be if you just acted on doing it. And the more that I'm learning to do that, like speed is definitely something I'm trying to really improve this year, because the more that I do act with speed, the better I can see results and the better things move. So I need to do that better. So yeah, act quickly, try not to procrastinate, and just do the thing there and then.
Money loves speed, poverty loves indecision.
That's it.
Yeah.
So big thanks for both your time today. Where's the best place to find out? What's your IG handles? You want to shout them out?
Tommy Mitchell Coaching.
And Amber Lily Coaching.
Big thank you for your time, guys. You guys enjoyed the podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star review, subscribe. And if you're a coach who wants help in terms of scaling your business, there's information below the podcast to find out exactly how we can help you. And we'll see you next episode coming up soon. Big thank you.